Well, she has a story to tell, so she wrote a book to tell that story. Her name is Mutter with a Caged Mind. Have a look. Here it is. I think I'm covering half. Oh, it's a big book, but that's okay. There's lots of information in here. She joins us right now. May, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
A Caged Mind. So, okay, this is very serious stuff, but a concussion is basically what we're talking about here. Now, you suffered a concussion. Tell us your story.
So 5 years ago, I had 4 concussions within 3 weeks, and the fact that I ignored the first and the second, and I just kept going thinking, you know, I'm fine, it's going to hurt, of course it's going to hurt, I hit myself, and I kept ignoring it, continued doing my everyday stuff, going to the gym, working, and that's actually what ended up making me worse, and I've been on disability ever since. Wow.
Okay, so how did it impair your life? I mean, how has life changed because of these concussions?
Daily headaches, fatigue, light sensitivity. Actually, I'm looking at you right now and I'm debating putting my sunglasses on.
Well, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I might do that. Oh.
You know, but so why would you have to put sunglasses on? I mean, explain what it's like to live with a concussion.
Just everything is bright. I think it's very similar to migraines, so anyone who experiences migraines will understand. Any light sources, it's really, really bright. Any noise, whether it's more than one conversation going on at the same time or just really loud, it really gets to you. You start having the headaches, you lose focus, concentration, and it just goes downhill from there.
Okay, so you experienced the first concussion, the second concussion, and I guess you just didn't take it seriously because, why? Because it's not a visual injury, so you just felt like you could play through the pain. Why did you keep going and then you experienced more?
Concussions weren't really talked about as much 5 years ago. So it was one of those things where, you know, you hurt your arm, you're not going to run to the doctor right away. You're just going to suck it up, wait for the pain to go away on its own, and then make do. And so same thing, I hit my head. I thought it was nothing serious. Just kind of grunt through it, do your thing, and carry on. And because it's invisible, no matter how much pain you're in or what you're going through, most people don't really understand, don't really hear you as much as they want to be sympathetic. They can't understand what you're going through.
Mm-hmm. This book then, I mean, okay, so you say you're on disability, but you're still you're an artist, so you still do your artwork, because you still have to pay bills and get all that done, so you're still able to do that work?
No, I actually had a business that I was working on, that I had before my injury. I was a face and body painter, so I did birthdays, hockey games, baseball games, you know, corporate parties, various parties. I actually ended up running my business into the ground.
Did you?
I did. I couldn't.
We're seeing some of your impressive artwork, and I'm very familiar with your work as well. So are you saying then that you aren't able to do this anymore because of the concussions?
No, between sending the wrong invoices and being constantly out of money, or between not even showing up for half the events, the amount of times I've gotten a call being like, "Hey, May, where are you?" That's when I kind of realized I had to stop.
Wow. So how long ago did you stop doing this?
5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You decided to create this book. You've got a book launch happening Thursday, February 22nd at Ligo Bar and Grill. How long did it take you? Because it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on here. This is a pretty darn big book.
It is.
How long did it take you to put this together?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
So what would we find inside this book if we were to get a copy?
Various stories. So originally I was looking into body painting, because that's what I used to do, body painting. It's the only way I knew how to share anything I was thinking. And originally I was going to body paint and tell the story of what a concussion meant to me. And then I realized that's not as powerful as it could be if I started bringing in other people. So I put out a call, and a bunch of people with brain injuries themselves reached out, and it started off by asking them, you know, how did it affect you specifically? Because I didn't want all the stories to be the same, to kind of repeat. I wanted to focus on a different aspect with each one, and they would tell me their story. I would pinpoint certain words in their stories, which then would give you the idea of how to create the design. And then we had photographers come on, all volunteer based. It was incredible, the amount of people that came out. And then they would portray that body painting and bring in the emotion that story carried.
Okay. How many people's stories do you think you have in this book?
Almost 40.
40?
Yeah.
So that must have been quite an undertaking to get these people to...
It was. I made sure not to paint more than once a week, or I tried to anyway, because I needed the full week to recover from one painting. And by the time usually that I finished painting, which was 6 to 8 hours throughout the day, by the time I finished painting and the photographer would come on and do their thing, I was just completely in my own world. So was the model at that point, to be honest. Like, everyone was just kind of done.
Okay. What is the prognosis then? You've obviously meet with specialists probably on an ongoing basis. What's next? Did they ever tell you if things are going to progress positively?
So the sad thing is they say that if you don't see any improvements after 2 years, especially after 5, then they say you're never going to get better. I refuse to believe that. I don't want to give up hope that one day I will be able to go back to work, or that one day I'll be able to do the things I used to love. I hold on to that, but they do say that I'm probably disabled for life at this point. Yeah.
All right, so that's not something that you want to hear.
No.
Obviously. The event is happening, as I mentioned, February 22nd, so we've got about a minute and a half left here. Tell us about some of the cool stuff people can look forward to if they drop by to this book launch.
Okay, well, so for starters, I'm just so excited that it's done after all these years, and the book launch will be next Thursday at Lago, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. The first half hour, there will be a few talks. So we have former NHL player Doug Smith talking about the trauma code and what it is to help others, and that's what you generally want to do when you go through some sort of trauma yourself.
Yeah, because he suffered through great brain trauma from playing in the National Hockey League.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Gordon Stringer will be speaking. So he's the father of Rowan Stringer, for those who don't know the story. She passed away after a second impact from rugby when she received a concussion. Actually, it was 5 years ago, because that was the thing that made my doctor start taking me seriously and refer me to the right places. And so he started working on Rowan's Law, bringing education to schools and sports, and he'll be speaking at the event. My personal injury lawyer, Miriam Gorlashvili, she has been incredible in dealing with this and fighting for me, and she's sponsoring the event. So she'll talk a little bit about a program that she's bringing forth to help brain injury survivors. And then I'm excited to say that Danielle Allard will be playing live. She's a great friend, and I've been supporting her for years, and then find out that she's had a concussion herself.
She did.
So she's in the book.
I hate to wrap you up. We only have a couple seconds left, but Mutter, thank you very much. And check the website for more details. Appreciate you being here.